Hello, welcome to the numeric expressions review. This is the review for the test, and every single question is going to be very, very similar to your test questions. So make sure you know how to do each of these questions, and this video is to kind of help if you get stuck on any of them. So question number 1 says evaluate. So remember, the word evaluate just means to solve. So when we are given an exponent, we just need to solve that out. So we're going to write this out in expanded form. Remember, our little number, right, our exponent tells us how many times to repeat our base, or the big number. So we know that we're going to write 5 3 times. So this really just means 5 times 5 times 5. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and solve this out. So I know that 5 times 5 is 25. And then I need to times it by one more 5 to get my final answer. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 5 times 5. 5 times 5, sorry, 25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So my final answer for 5 to the third power is 125. So that would be the first one. Okay. Okay, question number 2 says rewrite 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 using an exponent. So we're kind of going to go backwards. So we need this to look like this with an exponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a base. So what number is repeating? We know that 7 is repeating. And how many times does it repeat? 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats 4 times. So that's how we would write the exponent for that one. Okay, so next up we have question number 3. It says to evaluate, so it's going to be this very same thing as the first question. We're going to write it out in expanded form. So I'm going to write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And that happens twice. So I'm just going to do 9 and 9. And then I'm going to bring my sign down. So 9 times 9 gives us 81. So this answer would be 81. Awesome. So just like that, we've got 3 questions done. All right, so coming to question 4, we need to rewrite this as a power of 10. So if we need a power of 10, we know that 10 is going to be our base. And if you remember from class, I taught you a very easy trick into doing this. So we're going to kind of go backwards from the trick I taught you. So for example, if we were to have 10 to the third power, this would be 1 with 3 zeros. Remember, this tells us how many zeros to add. So this would be 10 to the third power. Okay. So in that case, we have a 100,000. So we're actually, all we're going to do is we're going to count how many zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to just come over here and put 5. So 100,000 is also equal to 10 to the 5th. And that's how we would rewrite it to a power of 10. Okay. Okay, number 5 is our first gem dust question. So the very first thing that I showed you to do in class is to write your steps out. Remember, this is kind of like our checklist. It's going to help us not forget any steps. So the very first step is G, which is, right, it's G or P for parentheses or grouping. Okay, so we're going to do 3 minus 1 first, 2, and then we have to stop and copy. Oh, sorry for the bell. We're going to stop and copy, and that includes this exponent. I know sometimes that can be confusing, but we're going to copy down that exponent to the 2, and then we're going to divide by 4. Okay, so that's our first step. We just did our grouping. Okay, we did 3 minus 2, and then we stopped and copied. Okay, the next step is doing exponents. Exponents is 2 to the 5th power, so I'm going to do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I'm writing that out. Now I'm going to solve. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then we're going to bring that down. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, So now 32 is not our answer because remember we just did 2 to the 5th power. So now we have to divide by 4, and that's our final step because we don't have add or subtract. So then we're going to do 32 divided by 4, which is 8, and 8 would be our answer. Okay. All right, flipping to the back, we've got question 6. This is the same thing. We're going to do some GEMDAS. So I'm going to write my steps off to the side so that I can remember what order to go in. Now remember, if we have multiple steps inside the parentheses, then we need to follow GEMDAS again. So exponents comes before adding. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to add 7 to it. So 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Then we have 8 plus 7 divided by 3. See how I just stopped and copied everything down? Okay, so we just did grouping, and we took care of the exponents in the grouping. Multiplication and division now. Oh, my bad. We did not finish. Sorry, we did not finish the grouping. So we just did the exponents in the grouping. Now we have to solve that out. So now we do 15, and then we have 15 divided by 3. That's now what step we're on, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that would be our answer. Sorry, that was a little, I just made a mistake when I was talking about that. Okay, number 7. Now, I know this looks like a lot, but there's just a couple of things that we have to remember, and then it's actually fairly easy. So we're going to just pretend like these are 2 different GEMDAS problems. So we're going to follow the steps for the first part, or for the top and for the bottom, okay? And then we'll go over what to do. So we're going to do the top first. So I know that we're going to solve the grouping first, so whatever's in parentheses. So 17 minus 8 is 9. Okay, then I'm going to stop and copy. Instead of copying down, I'm just going to copy up just for the sake of space. Sorry for the bell again. Copy that up. Okay, now we're done with grouping. Now I'm going to do exponents. We don't have any exponents. Now I'm going to do multiplication, division. So we're going to do this next. 6 times 9 is 54. And then the last step would be to subtract. So 54 minus 4 gives us 50. So 50 goes on the top. We're going to put that line. Okay, now let's do the bottom part. 6 squared is 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. And we're going to minus 26. So 36 minus 26 is 10. So we're going to put 10 on the bottom. Okay, now notice this looks like a fraction. That's all that it is. It's a fraction line. And we need to know that this fraction line means to divide. Okay, always, always, always. Even in a normal fraction, it means division. So when we have 50 divided by 50 divided by 10, we are left with 5. Okay? Okay, next up we have number 8. We have a division problem. So remember that when we have a division problem that looks like this, we need to put it into long division. So we're going to put the first number always in the division box, like that. And then this number goes on the outside. Okay. Now, I just know off the top of my head that 18 can go twice into 36. But if you did not know that, you need to come out here and do the guess and check method. Okay. So it's kind of just multiplying by certain numbers to see if you can get close to this number. So we have 2 times 8, which is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, and it happens to be 36. So I know that 18 can go into 36 twice, and that's my answer. So that one was fairly easy, but that's how you would do the long division. Let's go ahead and do another one. We just keep getting more numbers on these last 3 questions. So number 9 says to divide, and we need to put this number in the box. So 138, it goes in our long division box, and 46 goes on the outside. Okay, now I don't know how many times 46 can go into 138. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do my guess and check method. I'm going to times it by 2, and by 3, and see how close we can get. So 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I know I could probably get closer to 138, closer than 92, so let's go ahead and move to 46 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Oh, look at that, it works perfect. It goes 3 times. So our answer would be 3. Okay, now last up, it says quotient and remainder. So we do know that there's going to be a remainder. So we're going to keep that in mind when we get our answer. So again, we're going to put our first number in our box. We're going to go ahead and put a 16 on the outside, and we're going to start. So we have got 16 can go into 21 one time. 1 times 16 is 16. And we're going to subtract. So we can't do 1 minus 6. We have to borrow. And that makes this 11 now. So we have 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. Then we're going to drop the 5. So now we have to see how many times 16 can go into 55. So I'm going to come over here and do times 2, times 3. See, it's just a guess and check. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. We can probably go bigger. So 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So that's probably good. Let's just see. Let's go 4 times and see. 4 times 6 is 24, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Okay, 64 is too big for 55, so we're going to go 3 times. 16 can go into 55 3 times, and that's 48. Okay, we're going to subtract. We can't do 5 minus 8, so we have to borrow. 15 minus 8 is 7. And we're going to come down here. We're going to bring 3. Okay, so I'm wondering if we can just say 4, but let's just try 5 and see if 5 is too big. So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So yeah, it's a little too big. So we know 16 can go into 73 4 times without going over. So 4 times 16 is 64. We can't do 3 minus 4, so we have to borrow. This makes it 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. Look at that. We don't have any other numbers to bring down. So what we have is our answer is going to be 134, remainder 9. Okay. All right, so I get that was kind of a quick little video. So if you need to rewatch one of the problems that I solved, please go back and rewatch that. If not, please make sure just to study this out and get ready for the test that will be on Wednesday next week. All right. Okay, thanks for watching.